You're watching Camnet TV News, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Long queues characterize filling stations in NDOLA. Former Community Development Minister EMERINE KABANSHI found with a case to answer in the misappropriation of social cash transfer funds. Suspected drunk patron drowns and dies in a bar soakaway in MKUSHI district. In international news, Zimbabwe's military coup announcer and current foreign affairs minister has died. And in sports news, MICHO calls for calm among players after a 2-0 win over Tanzania. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. Oil Marketing Companies Association of Zambia President Kafula Mubanga has expressed disappointment with some major oil suppliers whom he has accused of causing the current fuel shortages being experienced in the country. Speaking to Camnet TV News Wednesday morning, Mr. Mubanga says the major oil dealers have been pressing government to increase the commodity, disregarding the favorable environment that has already been created for oil dealers. He has since called on government to take punitive measures against oil marketing companies that are trying to twist government into doing what they want at the expense of the ordinary citizens. More in this report.
For the past 3 to 4 weeks, the country has been experiencing fuel shortages, with Lusaka crying out loud, followed by Copperbelt, Eastern, and just today, Southern Province, to be specific, Mazaboka District. Numerous queries have been made to government through the Energy Minister, Matthew Nkua, who until yesterday attributed this shortage, which he described as temporal, to oil marketing companies who have been pressuring governments to increase the palm price, in the process delay in the distribution of the commodity. To avoid this, a government effected a waiver to oil marketing companies to import finished petroleum products for a period of 6 months from January to June 2021.
Prices of petroleum products, my ministry, in consultation with several stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance, came up with a proposal to align various cost elements in petroleum price build-up that were affected by the changes in both local and international economic fundamentals. This entails zero rating of the value-added tax on petrol and diesel. Additionally, excise duty has been removed on diesel, while the petrol excise duty has been reduced from 2/4 ngwe to 64 ngwe per litre.
The minister's claims have been cemented by the Oil Marketing Companies Association of Zambia, OMCA's president Kafula Mubanga, who claims that people are not supporting government's effort in enhancing the operations of the oil marketing companies.
It is very clear that in the recent past, this market has been dominated by multinationals who have not given adequate support to the indigenous OMCs via a local empowerment plan that government has instructed to do. We hope that the bigger OMCs or the multinationals will effect the local empowerment plan. I should state clearly that this should not be driven by a selfish motive that does not recognize equal participation of the OMCs or the indigenous OMCs. You realize that we have about 75 OMCs registered in this country.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mubanga says government should punish all oil marketing companies that are seemingly sabotaging government's effort and putting the lives of the consumers in awkward positions.
They commit to government on those allotments. If they fail to commit, to deliver, government can take a stance in giving them maybe, punitive measures that will force them, maybe, freezing their license for that particular quota so that they learn a lesson, because basically this habit will become habitual for them to be able to derail government and twist government process. But at the end of the day, it affects the common Zambian. So the model in which this product is traded, we need to make sure that government puts up a correct model that makes the OMCs commit to delivering the input.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And in NDOLA, most filling stations have run out of fuel, while those with a commodity are experiencing long queues. Meanwhile, United, Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia President Charles Chanda has recommended for the removal of middlemen in the supply of crude oil if the situation is to be corrected going forward. Mr. Chanda says it's sad that Zambians would be subjected to spending long hours queuing for fuel instead of engaging in productive and meaningful activities aimed at bettering their lives.
Can you see the queues? Those queues you are seeing, these are people that are queuing up for fuel. You guys who are leading us, our guys, you can't subject us to such kind of treatment. You can't. Look at, see the queues. Let me try and look at the queues there. See where the cars are coming from. Look at the cars. It's bad. Now, the solution to this one is this. One, we need to remove the middlemen. Remove all the middlemen. We must have direct access to crude oil. This is also going to help us in terms of prices. So this is the solutions we have as UPPZ. Now, have looked at the Tanzania route. If the middlemen will be stubborn to be removed, because I don't know.
The fate of a Zambia Air Force ZAF officer accused of assaulting her 11-year-old niece using hot spoons to inflict injuries on her body will be determined on Friday this week. Magistrate Tandosa Chabala has set the 22nd of January 2021 as Judgment Day following the close of the case, which has been in the courts of law since March 2019. Mildred Luwale, 32, a ZAF officer, stood charged with one count of assault on a child. More in this report.
The court will on Friday, the 22nd of January 2021, decide the fate of a Zambia Air Force worker who is accused of assaulting her 11-year-old niece. Mildred Luwale of ZAF Twin Palm, the accused in this matter, is expected to appear before Magistrate Tandosa Chabala for a judgment on Friday. The 32-year-old is charged with assault on a child, contrary to Section 248 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. She is accused of committing the offense on the 25th of March 2019. This is one of the cases that sparked public outrage and came to the attention of the police when the 11-year-old victim was seen in a video that went viral on social media describing her misery. With different testimony given in court by witnesses against Luwaile, she however denied committing the offense. During her defense, she had told the court that whatever her niece testified before court were all lies, as she had a tendency of twisting and fabricating stories. According to Zambia police, the victim sustained serious burns all over the body as hot spoons were alleged to have been used to inflict injuries. The police also revealed that the accused person was reported to the police by a concerned member of the public that she was allegedly abusing and assaulting her niece. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Former Community Development Minister EMERINE KABANSHI has been found with a case to answer. In the matter, she is accused of willful failure to comply with the law and applicable procedure of guidance relating to administration of the Social Cash Transfer Program. Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale has since put Ms. KABANSHI on her defense and is expected to call for witnesses. The former minister is alleged to have between the 21st of August 2017 and April 26th, 2018, while she was a cabinet minister in charge of administration and management at the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, failed to comply with the law by extending the scope of coverage of contract between ZAMPOS to include 3 provinces and 2 districts under the Social Cash Transfer Program. More in this report.
She has been appearing before court since 2019 to answer to corruption charges allegations leveled against her. Now, the former Community Development Minister EMERINE KABANSHI has been placed on her defense after the court found her with a case to answer this morning. The embattled former minister and currently an area member of parliament is accused of willful failing to follow procedure when she re-engaged Zambia Postal Service Corporation (ZAMPOS) as payment service provider under contract number MCDSS/10/2017 for Social Cash Transfer Program following the termination of the said contract. Delivering ruling Wednesday morning, 20th January 2021, Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale ruled that the prosecution team had provided sufficient evidence to warrant the accused to be put on a defense. The court considered evidence provided as well as the detailed submissions by the defense and ruled that a prima facie has been established against her in both count 1 and 2. In this case, the accused is alleged to have between 21st August 2017 and April 26, 2018, while she was a cabinet minister concerned in the administration and management at the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, failed to comply with the law by extending the scope of coverage of contract between ZAMPOS to include 3 provinces and 2 districts under Social Cash Transfer Program. She first came into the spotlight of government's corruption wings after an audit in August 2018 revealed that ZAMPOS diverted funds meant for the donor-funded Social Cash Transfer Program. By September 2018, President Edgar Lungu fired her after a cleanup in the Social Cash Transfer scandal, which forced some donors to suspend aid to Zambia. Earlier, after a ruling was delivered, her defense counsel, Jonas Zimba, informed court that the accused was going to give in sworn evidence in her defense and she was going to call 4 witnesses to testify in her favor. However, they informed the court that they were not ready to proceed today with their defense and needed more time. The accused is expected to commence her defense on the 10th of March 2021. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
And still in the news, the Consumer Unity Trust Society CUTS has raised concern as to why government has procured shares in Mopani copper mine at a cost double the value of the mine. CAT's program officer Ishmael Zulu has told Camnet TV News in an interview that Glencore, as of last year, announced that Mopani copper mine was valued at 700 million United States dollars, but that government has decided to buy the shares at 1.5 billion United States dollars. Mr. Zulu says government should have considered conducting a cost-benefit analysis as to why the mine has been making losses in the past few years before considering the acquisition of the entire shares. Minister of Mines Richard Musukwa Tuesday morning announced that government had acquired the entire shares in Mopani copper mine and that it will consider engaging other investors.
Decision by government to acquire 100% shares in Mopani copper mine has been received with mixed feelings. On Tuesday morning, Mines Minister Richard Musukwa announced that government had acquired 100% shares in Mopani copper mines.
This means ZCCMIH will now hold 100% in Mopani copper mines. Let me make it abundantly clear. This transaction is important for the government, and it guarantees not just production at the mine, but also jobs.
While others are rejoicing over the decision made by government, some stakeholders have also raised a concern on how capable the government is in running a mine, considering the current physical challenges being faced in the country. Consumer Unity Trust Society Programs Officer Ishmael Zulu says it is important that government should have considered conducting a cost-benefit analysis to examine how valuable running Mopani copper mine would be to the Zambian economy.
Lastly, when you look at the valuation of Mopani itself, last year, Mopani in August 2020, they valued themselves at around 700 million US dollars. But then we're purchasing their shares for more than double that amount. So all of these raises concerns as to whether it is actually a wise decision to acquire 100% of the shares for the mine. The minister has indicated that it's a positive development that Zambia has procured the shares, but then it's important that the government is clear on the strategy that they would implement to ensure that they are running the mine in a cost-effective way that would raise revenue for the government. Looking at the struggles that Mopani have had over the last couple of years, the devaluation, I think it raises a lot of concerns and questions. It raises more questions than answers with regards to our financial situation.
Mr. Zulu also says government does not currently have the capacity to manage Mopani copper mines.
As a country, we do not have the capacity, and I'm saying this in relation to financial resources. The government is in a tight fiscal position at present, and then it's going to be difficult to channel resources towards a mine that has been making losses for years, towards a mine that has struggled to run its day-to-day activities in a cost-effective manner. It would involve the government pumping in resources, and these are resources that we don't have as a country at present.
What then could have been the solution to this challenge?
I think the best solution would have been the best decisions are made when you have adequate information available. Carrying out research on what exactly the challenges are, what exactly have caused the challenges at Mopani, what is needed. You carry out a cost-benefit analysis as the government and work hand in hand with Mopani and Glencore. And have a bilateral discussion as to the solution that can be provided to the challenges that Mopani is facing, and ensuring that those 15,000 jobs are protected.
Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
But in a walk-in interview with Camnet TV News, advocates for national development and democracy and a member of Democracy and Motherland Defenders Coalition, through its executive director Samuel Banda, has commended government for acquiring 100% shareholding in the Mopani copper mine. Mr. Banda says the decision was long overdue but timely, as many Zambians will benefit from it. Mr. Banda believes that it's time for Zambia to take take control over her destiny, and that would only be possible with the control of its assets. He says the drive to acquire majority shares in the mining company must be supported by every well-meaning citizen. Mr. Banda further says Zambia can only develop if its people take center stage at the management of its natural resources.
We would like to commend the government of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa for acquiring the majority stake in Mopani mine. We must state this is long overdue and comes with a lot of benefits for Zambians. We believe that Zambia took control of our destiny, and that would not be possible without the control of the majority assets, such as mines. The drive to acquire majority shares in our companies, Zambian companies, must be supported by every well-meaning Zambian. Control of our assets, it means increase in revenue of our country that leads to better and quality service delivery to key sectors such as education, agriculture, and health. It also means better employment opportunities and a good economic environment for our local businesses. We are pleased with President Edgar Chagwa that he has recognized our sovereign right to run our own affairs, whilst demonstrating his confidence in the ability of Zambians to manage their assets effectively and efficiently.
The government says it is committed to accelerating the role of higher education institutions as key drivers for achieving the sustainable development goals in the country. And government, through the Ministry of Higher Education and the UN Development Programme, UNDP, has joined forces in signing a 5-year memorandum of understanding to ensure the higher education system achieves its purpose. Ministry of Higher Education Permanent Secretary Kayula Siame says the expected areas of cooperation will include collaboration of applied research programs involving youth employability, knowledge sharing, and enhancing gender equality. And UNDP resident representative Lino Lawrence says when all key stakeholders do their part and forge partnerships that pull in the same direction, reaching the SDGs by 2030 will no longer be a vision but a reality.
This era that we are in, we are changing the mode that we are delivering our education service. So that already provides us with an opportunity to research into how we can use new methods of delivering education, while at the same time ensuring that it is inclusive. You know that we have gone into online learning, but we know that there are a lot of challenges in online learning. So this provides us an opportunity to ensure that we can have 100% of the learners receiving the education through the new methods of education delivery that we will be presenting. And through research, this will enable us to ensure that that becomes a reality.
Given a successful track record of joint projects between UNDP and the government, the outlook of this scheme is very promising. This initiative will simultaneously promote innovations with the purpose of fostering relevant youth employability through volunteer schemes and internship programs. It will promote public awareness in areas such as enhancing gender equality through supporting initiatives to encourage girls and women to pursue higher education, vocational education and training, and specialize in scientific research and technological innovation. And that, of course, will contribute to the promotion of gender equality and women's empowerment.
I need a greeting. There's no handshake allowed anymore. Let's give them a round of applause.
Livingstone District Commissioner Pascalina Msokotwane has called on the education sector in the district to prepare adequately for the reopening of schools in view of the increasing coronavirus cases being recorded in the country. Ms. Msokotwane also urged education administrators in the district to be lenient with parents and guardians in terms of fees, saying the pandemic has presented financial challenges for everyone and that they may face challenges to pay for school fees. The Livingstone DC was speaking when she received 10 desks, 10 standard tables and standard chairs from the Zambian National Commercial Bank ZANACO on behalf of Shungu Mutitima Secondary School. Shungu Secondary School head teacher Oganti Malumbe appreciated the gesture, adding that the computers will compensate for the ones which were stolen in 2015 by unknown people, a situation which saw a security guard killed in cold blood within the school premises.
Bearing in mind that COVID doesn't just come, it's not just affecting people by getting sick, but it has affected people in different ways. And it has actually affected even the country economically. We find that people and parents, more especially, don't, have enough resources, maybe even to pay for the school fees. But I'm urging the school through the debts that let us be lenient to the parents. Even as the children come back to school, let us bear in mind that we have a problem. And this is not just a problem that has hit Zambia alone. It is a global pandemic. So globally, we are all affected and the problems are everywhere. We might feel Zambia has been badly hit, but we are better off because when you look at other countries, they are more hit than us. But as Livingstone, I want to emphasize very much because most of the cases that we are receiving, the positive cases, are actually coming from Maramba, Dambwa, even, like the town center, because town center is a meeting place. That's where, people from all these other places go to and we mingle and, meet. And even these other places, like Elaine Britel is also, part of them. But in short, I'm saying Livingstone has been hit, and let us see to it that we protect ourselves. Even as the children come to school, let us also emphasize and just educate them to say that the masking should not just be done within the school premises, but even as they go home, they should continue, adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines. Okay.
Producing children that are going to compete academically and professionally in society, we are happy. They have good morals, and as they do what they will do, they will not be corrupted in mind, and maybe we can have a healthy nation. Having said that, let me welcome you. I'm so excited and elated on this event, together with the children and the teachers. All this that we are doing here emanates from the initiative of the pupils, as you are going to learn in the process, guest of honor. I want to end here before I spoil the soup.
Meanwhile, ZANACO Livingstone branch manager Anthony Chalelema remains confident that the computers will benefit the pupils as well as the school administration to enhance STEM education while improving their passion for the love of ICT in Zambia.
When Shungu School approached us requesting for support in the ICT part of their curricula, we were very excited to partner and help in the growth of our next generation. ZANACO supports STEM education for the young generation because it pervades every part of our lives. Technology is continuously expanding in every aspect of our lives, exposing pupils to STEM education and giving them opportunities to explore STEM-related concepts. This will help them develop a passion for IT and be able to compete in this highly information-based and technological society. You will agree with me that the world has become a global village with digital technology being at the height of this move. ZANACO has joined in the move and is working with various institutions to support the growth of ICT in Zambia. We have an innovation lab that we have nurtured as a lab of great untapped ideas and leap into growing towards greatness in digital technology. We need technology in every pupil and teacher's hand because it is the pen and paper of our time and lens through which we experience the world. We believe that with the 10 computers and other items donated, this will contribute to the growth of pupils into adults that will impact this society greatly with unmatched ideas and solutions. Thank you.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Take control of your tax planning. Avoid penalties and interest. Returns and payments due by the 10th of the month for declarations of the previous month's transactions are pay as you earn and skills development levy. Returns and payments due by the 14th of the month are turnover tax, withholding tax, mineral royalty tax, tourism levy, gaming and baiting, presumptive tax. Returns and payments for all withholding VAT agents is the 16th of the month. Returns and payments for all VAT registered suppliers is the 18th of the month. Submit the returns and make payments on or before the respective due dates to avoid penalties on the late submission of returns and payments of taxes. Further, note that VAT tax invoices for all business-to-business and business-to-government transactions must bear the tip-in of the buyer without fail. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerine?
Oracle Pure Glycerine? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Hello, have you heard about MSika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, MSika is here. Advertise on MSika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
MSika, allowing your business to grow. You're watching Camnet TV News. Thank you so much for staying with us.
We continue with the news. Citizens have been urged to take interest in the waste recycling industry for available income-generating activities through the collection of plastic bottles. A Lusaka resident, Esther Mwanza, who is an aggregator under the Manga Pamozi Recycling Initiative, has challenged young people to see the value in waste and stop complaining about lack of employment in the country. She notes that waste collection does not need one to have capital, thus the need to venture in it so that they can raise resources to meet their basic needs. The Manga Pamozi Recycling Initiative, implemented by Zambia breweries with support from Lusaka City Council, among other partners, has recruited more than 800 collectors, with over 12,000 tons of recyclable waste material being collected from various communities in Lusaka. More in this report.
Zambia's manufacturing sector has continued to grow, but it is not without consequences, and one of them is the increase in the quantity of plastic for packaging. Recycling is one element of the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, reuse, that continues to contribute to resource utilization in the plastic industry. And in recent years, waste recycling has made a positive impact on society, not only in waste management, but supporting people's livelihoods. Notably, some people are just shy to pick up bottles, but that is equivalent to failing to pick up money from the ground. While several young people remain unemployed and continue to sing the song of lack of employment and harass innocent people at bus stations, others are taking advantage of waste to earn a decent living.
Tikawauza so vamatiseka pamwene timasenzera kuma sitima gona na njala tikadoba roko nikangona kamena matipasa pe wiki tawengisa vakwera watipasa kwa ngono tindo kula fakuti ya vavana pena kutigula mabuku ya vana ya school pena timathandizako okay munjira zambi nazi pembo watu pena ngovena ngovapeza kuti papisweke na vese wakwanilisa tima konsa nditu kusamalira pa nyumba azimai timathandizira azimai tiyeni kuli ndrama kupambana kuti amuna vanhu vabwere kumazulu mulipekena ka coin kali konse kakanimene kajaka 5 kwacha kafranka 50 kwacha kamene vatipasa muzagula mwe mutisora disoti azimai peza stinga ese vameka mai wanga vameka but timathandizika mwamene uko.
Meanwhile, Esther Mwanza, who works as an aggregator at the garden site, tells this journalist that this kind of business does not need one to have a capital to start. She explains that waste recycling has enabled her to achieve her personal life goals.
Manezi na kamba sisi na nakapu tumetu takile ngama voya kuyambire business but ngau uyamba shikita kole then kangana ngama okay nini start business and ngawa bolo ka business hapa nchini because we should continue to go my bottles then ukatira hapo industry so manezi ngazache ma community ya takamba tulenga tena ngoni so agamba singa dobe maboto but no ado batabu kino kuba kwa wangu kwa paseni I think ngana ndama ikukiana mtana kilonga na kontrol.
Ezekiel Sekele is Zambian Breweries Corporate Affairs Manager.
When you move around town, you'll be seeing cleanliness. We want to contribute to the growth of keep Zambia clean, green, and healthy. And this is one of the things that Manga Pamozi initiative is doing.
Citizens Environmental and Social Concern Executive Director Conwell Hagapia says cleaning the environment must be made compulsory among industry players.
When you look at the wage itself, extended producer responsibility, from a layman's point of view, it's simple. The producer should be responsible of their products from production through to disposal or recycling. So now, that document itself does not compel the producers to be responsible. So now it encourages them to be responsible. So now they are not being encouraged. So now we need a law that is supposed to compel them to be responsible. They need to be made accountable for their products.
Clearly, more stakeholders need to join the Extended Producer Responsibility Project to steer recycling and promote a circular economy for job creation and sustainable environmental management. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
A 39-year-old man identified as Zakeo Mvula, a resident of MKUSHI district in the Central Province, has died after drowning in a soakaway at a named nightclub. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo has told Camnet TV News that police in the area received a call in the early hours of Wednesday morning from the proprietor of Big Mose nightclub, Moses Kasonde, over the incidents. Miss Katongo says police and fire brigade visited the scene and confirmed the drowning, and the body was later retrieved. The police spokesperson says upon inspection of the body, it was discovered that it had no physical injuries apart from water that was coming out of its mouth. A phone and a voter's card with details of Zakeo Mvula, age 39, was found in one of his pockets. Ms. Katongo says the body has since been deposited in MKUSHI Hospital mortuary awaiting postmortem. MKUSHI Public Relations Officer Clarence Kauma has confirmed the death.
MKUSHI Town Council would like to confirm that today we had an incident at 08:20 hours to be specific, where a man only believed to be in his late 20s drowned in a septic tank. As a local authority, through the fire brigade and rescue team, we rushed to the incident scene, which is about 4 kilometers away from the central business district, where we managed to retrieve the dead body. As a local authority, ours is only to ensure that we sensitize the general public to ensure that they safeguard their lives if we are to avoid the reoccurrence of such an incident.
Zambia has recorded 7 new COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours. The country has further recorded 1,439 new positive cases out of 11,179 tests done, with 1,709 recoveries. Meanwhile, Health Minister Jonas Chanda has directed Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA to move in and ensure that fake medicines circulating on the streets for COVID-19 are removed. Dr. Chanda has warned anyone taking advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic by exploiting citizens through the provision of uncertified drugs of being visited by the law. The minister has also directed for the immediate certification of private health facilities that are able to provide enhanced response to the pandemic.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 1,439 new cases. 1,439 new cases out of 11,179 tests performed. So I repeat that, 1,439 new cases out of 11,179 tests performed. The cumulative number of cases nationally now stands at 40,954. We have discharged 1,709 patients from both our facilities and home-based management. This brings the cumulative number of recoveries to 29,775. Regrettably, we recorded a total of 7 new COVID-19 rated deaths countrywide, and the cumulative number of deaths is now at 590. The deaths have been classified as follows: 225 COVID deaths, 342 associated deaths, 23 pending classifications. And I also just want to reiterate that in terms of prevention, government through the Ministry of Health has emphasized the 5 golden rules of COVID prevention: masking up in public, maintaining physical distance, washing your hands regularly or sanitizing, avoiding crowded places and staying at home where you can, and then seeking medical attention early if you show symptoms.
The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority says all those involved in the marketing of herbal and traditional medicines for purposes of treatment or management of COVID-19 to apply for the authorization from the authority. ZAMRA Senior Public Relations Officer Christabel Iliamupu says the application shall include clinical trials data as evidence to support the safety and efficacy of the product. She adds that in the case of a new chemical entities, herbal traditional medicines, the applicant will be required to apply for a clinical trial certificate authorizing them to generate the required clinical evidence to support the use of such a product. Meanwhile, ZAMRA says it has adopted the African Vaccine Regulatory Forum strategy and guidance for emergency preparedness, which provides for expedited time frame for processing applications for conducting clinical trials.
The authority wishes to advise persons who intend to place on the market conventional, herbal, and traditional medicines for purposes of treatment or management of COVID-19 to apply for authorization from the authority. The application shall include clinical trials data as evidence to support the safety and efficacy of the product. In a case of new chemical entities, herbal or traditional medicines, the applicant shall be required to apply for a clinical trial certificate authorizing them to generate the required clinical evidence to support the use of such a product. In addition, the authority grants approval of advertising or promotion of registered medicines and allied substances. The authority also wishes to inform members of the public that it has not received any application for the conduct of clinical trials or grant of marketing authorization for conventional, herbal, or traditional medicines for use in the treatment or management of COVID-19. Furthermore, ZAMRA has adopted the African Vaccine Regulatory Forum, AVARAF strategy and guidance for emergency preparedness, which provides for expedited time frame for processing applications for the conduct of clinical trials. And lastly, we would like to put it on record that the authority has since intensified its post-marketing surveillance activities, and would-be offenders will be prosecuted according to the provisions of the law.
Meanwhile, the NDOLA City Council has started spring schools in preparation of classes which are scheduled to resume on the 1st of February this year, aimed at curbing the spread of the coronavirus. The program, which is being done in partnership with the Association of Private Schools to spray the private schools, has so far seen 9 government and private schools being disinfected in the city. NDOLA City Council Director of Public Health, Christopher Mtonga, has since called on other partners to work with the council to help extend the disinfection of public places. NDOLA City Council health inspectors have also continued with the disinfecting of markets, bus stations, shopping malls and the civic center and government offices, as well as checking for compliance levels in various areas of the city. This is according to a statement issued to Camnet TV News by NDOLA City Council Public Relations Officer Febi Mwandama.
The local authority is pleased with the support it's receiving from a number of stakeholders within the district, be it materially as well as just their involvement, in the fight against COVID-19. However, wish to appeal to well-wishers out there to come to the aid of the local authority and other stakeholders that are involved in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of financial and material resource support, because on its own, the local authority will not be able to meet the huge demands of the resources that are needed in the fight against the COVID-19. Together we'll fight the COVID-19 pandemic in our beautiful city of NDOLA. And also just a reminder to the general public out there, COVID-19 is real. Let's mask up, observe physical distancing, avoid crowded places, avoid handshakes, regular hand washing, and also stay home and stay safe.
The non-governmental gender organization Coordinating Council, NGOCC, is saddened and in deep distress over the barbaric and evil nature of the defilement of a 2-year-old girl in Kanyama compound by a 53-year-old man. The women movement is disturbed at the increased cases of defilement, especially against young girls. NGOCC Executive Director Ngwase Mwale notes with concern the increased defilement cases, especially involving children and symptomatic of a deeply rooted moral and psychological catastrophe in the country. Ms. Mwale says it is inconceivable how a 53-year-old man can even think of forcing himself on a 2-year-old girl. She adds that many other women are needlessly losing their lives at the hands of intimate partners, with the latest one being that of Aneti Lutanda of Chifunabuli district, again of Luapula province, having made her fate in the last few days. Ms. Mwale has since called for the collective responsibility in combating gender-based violence.
NGOCC wishes to register its sadness and deep distress over the barbaric and evil nature of the defilement of a 2-year-old girl in Kanyama compound by a 53-year-old man. As a women's movement, we are greatly perturbed at the increased cases of defilement, especially against young girls. The increased defilement cases, especially involving children, are symptomatic of a deeply rooted moral and psychological catastrophe in our country. It is inconceivable how a 53-year-old man can even think of forcing himself on a 2-year-old girl. This trend seems to be continuing even after the sad death of 3-days-old baby queen of Luwingu district, Luapula province, and indeed many others whose lives have been cut short in similar circumstances over the years. In addition, many other women are similarly needlessly losing lives at the hands of intimate partners, with the latest one, Miss Annette Lutanda of Chifunabudi district, again in Luapula province, having met her fate in the last few days. This is totally absurd and a very concerning eventuality that should rob many Zambian citizens of their sleep. Clearly, all current efforts to root out this evil in our society are proving inadequate as a country. Time has come for all of us to rise in a more concerted manner to find lasting resolve to this persistent evil hand. Sexual and gender-based violence is not only criminal, but an affront and a violation of the human rights of victims and survivors. Unfortunately, in many ways than one, our communities have witnessed this heinous crime falling heavily on our young girls and children who are no longer safe anywhere. Surely, society owes it to these promising and yet so vulnerable souls to seriously redress this debilitating trend and give hope to the many such silent voices. We wish to commend the alert members of the community in Kanyama who apprehended the suspect in the Kanyama incident and handed him to the authorities. It is NGOCC's hope and conviction that as a country we can all stand up and consciously deal with the increasing cases of sexual and gender-based violence. We continue to call on an end to sexual and gender-based violence of any form. Time is now for every Zambian to search ourselves and come to a point where we should each be the voice to end violence of any form and type in our spaces.
Women for Change has challenged all political parties that will contest in this year's general elections to consider adopting as many women as possible to contest for various positions. Women for Change Executive Director Lumba Sinyanga says women, when given a chance are able to deliver and push the development agenda of the country. She further advised women that would want to stand as candidates on various levels this year to start getting on the ground and make their intentions known. She said that there is need for them rather to get busy and be known, and that they are able to represent the people in a proper manner. She observed that most women were in a habit of giving up when not adopted, a situation she said should by all means be discouraged.
My encouragement to the female candidates is that they should not give up when not adopted. This country, in terms of our electoral act, it allows for individuals to stand as independent candidates. You don't have to belong to a particular political party, but if you are able to show, and if you've been on the ground and you've been working with the communities for the past months or years, you can therefore go for it. You really don't have to belong to a political party. I think we want to encourage citizens to vote for people that will be able to work for them, to look at the issues at hand and how they are going to be handled, instead of just voting for a particular political party. I think this is what has been taking us backwards as a country, since the focus is on political parties, other than what leadership qualities or what that person is capable of doing. So 2021, we expect to see a different kind of election. We expect to see a different kind of campaigns, and we want to see a violent, free campaign, and a leveled playing field for all candidates, regardless of their political affiliations.
We take our second set of commercials. To stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste in the garden. Can I have the apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
The Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Tasting Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitality Plus Iron. Great tasting Cowbell Choco, a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
Dr. Bigron, usaibala komutienda ukuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina mushi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesigia na mawaipa.
Difficult, ya shidia njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipu sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a camera, difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Inemomi! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo bikro. Utola inoleta nchemfule mungani. Get you watch the post and change. 1, 2, 3. Both of you. Kabala ngempang. Don't be stupid. We got it.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Donald Trump has left the White House for the final time of his presidency ahead of the inauguration of Joe Biden. Mr. Trump has taken a helicopter to the nearby Andrews base, where he is now speaking and will then board the Air Force One plane to Florida. He is the first president to snub his successor's inauguration since 1869. Some 25,000 troops will guard the inauguration ceremony, which will be missing the traditional hundreds of thousands of spectators due to the coronavirus pandemic. Alongside Mr. Biden, Kamala Harris will make the history when she is sworn in as the nation's first woman vice president. By broadcast time, the inauguration of President Joe Biden had started. And still in international news, Zimbabwe's Foreign Minister Sibusiso Moyo has died after succumbing to COVID-19, according to the government. Born in 1960, the former army general gained international prominence in 2017 when he announced the military takeover that outseated long-serving President Robert Mugabe from power. Zimbabwe has recorded a surge in COVID-19 cases since the festive season. There have been 28,675 cases and 825 deaths since the virus was detected in the country last March. Mr. Moyo is the second senior government figure to die from COVID-19 in Zimbabwe. Retired General and Agriculture Minister parents Shiri succumbed to the illness last July. In neighboring Malawi, President Lazarus Chakwera has taken personal blame for the recent rise in COVID-19 cases in the country. Malawi's local government minister Langston Valakenyama and Transport Minister Muhammad Siddique Mai died from the illness last week. Mr. Moyo died in a local hospital on Wednesday. President Emerson Mnangagwa's spokesperson George Charamba said in a statement. Mr. Mnangagwa described him as a friend and a true hero. Here's a foul picture of General Moyo announcing the military takeover in 2017.
We wish to assure the nation that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade R.G. Mugabe, and his family are safe and sound, and their security is guaranteed. We are only targeting criminals around him who are committing crimes that are causing social and economic suffering in the country in order to bring them to justice. As soon as we have accomplished our mission, we expect that the situation will return to normalcy.
We now get into sports news. And in sports news, Chipolo Polo coach MICHO says his boys should not be carried away by the 2-0 win over Tanzania, but should instead stay focused on their next assignment. And Tanzania coach says the Taifa Stars are wounded after the 2-0 loss to Zambia. In a post-match interview, MICHO said although the team won 2-0, they were far from their best version. The coach says the team must now shift its attention to the next match against Group D leaders Guinea. MICHO states that Guinea posed a stronger challenge with their strength drawn from the strength of the home clubs like Mohora. Zambia is in a joint top with Guinea, who scored a goal more against Namibia. The two sides clash on Saturday in a top of the table Group D tie at Limbe Stadium. Let's have a recap of Tuesday's match between Zambia and Tanzania. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Long queues characterize filling stations in NDOLA. Former Community Development Minister EMERINE KABANSHI found with a case to answer in the misappropriation of social cash transfer funds. Suspended drunk patron drowns and dies in a bar soakaway in MKUSHI district. In international news, Zimbabwe's military coup announcer and current foreign affairs minister has died. And in sports news, MICHO calls for calm among players after a 2-0 win over Tanzania. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Ephesians 6 verse 18, and it reads, "Pray at all times in the Spirit with every prayer and request, and stay alert in this with all perseverance and intercession for all the saints." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.